I used to work part-time at a bakery inside of a grocery store. I dealt with my fair share of Karens during this time. Just to paint this picture of how it would work, we had a binder with laminated copies of over 100 different designs the decorators did regularly. A customer would look through the book, pick a design they wanted, and fill me in on the details of when they wanted it by, what size, what flavor, if any color changes were necessary, etc. Our decorators would come in at 7 a.m. and stay for however long it took to complete their orders. So, usually, they were gone by early to mid-afternoon. The bakery closed along with the store at 9 p.m. One day, maybe around 8:15 or 8:20, a woman comes in and says she needs a cake. I figure she's referring to the cake sitting in our cooler, which we keep at the ready in case anybody just wants something quick and simple. So I motion to the cooler and ask her if she sees anything she likes. Apparently, I'm a goddamn brilliant comedian because she starts laughing and goes, "No, sweetie, I need a wedding cake." All right, no big deal. I grab an order form and take down her information, and then ask her what day she needs it for. "Tonight." Mind you, the store was closing in 40 minutes. So even if I could decorate a cake, I wouldn't be able to help her. I tell her that there's no decorators present at the moment, but I could make sure it was ready for her first thing in the morning. She's clearly upset by this, but says that'll be fine. I continue taking her order and ask her what size she'd like. Our bakery was not an upscale joint, and our prices reflected that. Just about everything comes in frozen. So, for our cakes, they come in a variety of predetermined sizes. She pulls out her phone and thrusts it in my face, saying, "Whatever that is." On the screen is a very beautiful cake. Smooth white frosting, 7 to 8 tiers, decorations made in fondant and blown sugar. Before I even continue taking the order and dash her hopes when she sees the finished product, I tell her that wouldn't be possible. I didn't mean to offend our decorators, but I told her the truth. Most of them were exceptionally gifted home bakers who didn't have formal training in terms of a culinary program or a decorating school. I then politely refer her to a more upscale bakery that I knew of that's more equipped to help her than we were. Then the dreaded 6 words came. "Can I speak to your manager?" At this point in time, I'd been working at that bakery for a little over a year, so I was capable enough to close the department on my own. As such, I was the only one there. I told her this, but offered to leave a note with the customer's name and number so my manager could call her tomorrow. "Fine. Let me talk to a store manager." Now, there were anywhere between 1 to 3 store managers who oversaw the entire grocery store and all its departments on staff a night. So I go to our phone and page a store manager over to the bakery department. The whole time we're waiting, she's staring daggers into me. A manager I was fairly friendly with came to the counter in a few minutes and asked what the problem was. I briefed her before she went to talk to the customer. The second we get over there, the customer starts spewing lies about me, how I was rude and refusing to help her. I tried to defend myself, but the manager just told me to keep doing my closing work out back. 10 minutes later, she comes back, shaking her head and rubbing her temples. That bitch was crazy. Do you know anyone who acts like this in department stores? Leave a comment below. A few years back, Walmart was phasing in their self-checkout registers. They sat mostly unused as people were unaccustomed to using them. Walmart's implementation plan required 2 cashiers to man the new registers to help people learn how to use them. At the same time, they had shut down a couple of their full-service registers. The consequence of this was long lines at the open cashier checkouts. I was purchasing a gift card, so I was stuck. As the line slowly dwindled, I arrived next to be served. At the register is an elderly lady with half a dozen items in her motorized cart. Just as she reaches into her cart to begin handing items to the cashier, this 30-something woman steps in front of her and hands the cashier a bottle of suntan lotion. Thinking that the woman was with the little old lady, the cashier rings up the lotion. Then she reaches towards the little old lady with the next item to scan. 30s slaps the cashier's hand and says, "I'm not paying for her crap. Check me out. I'm in a hurry." The cashier is stunned and steps back from the register. The little old lady said, I was here first. 30s launches into a tirade in which she makes clear that she deserved service first because she had to meet someone and was already late for their pool party. It was Walmart's fault she was late because they hired incompetent help. It was people like her, the little old lady, that always stopped the line by plugging it up with their carts moving so slowly. By this time, her rant had reached a loud and fevered pitch. Her entitlement was insured because her item had already been rung up, proving she got to the register first. She wanted the manager there now. Then she turned to the little old lady and said, "You old people can shop any time you want. Why do you come at the busiest time of the day and clog up the line?" That was it. I'd heard enough. I stepped toward her. As I approach, I see the little old lady's cane come out into the aisle, so I stop short. I watch as she gets out of her cart and stands up. Her and 30s are now standing face to face. The cane comes off the floor and I think, here it comes. With the cane crook in front of her face, the little old lady grips it with both hands. She then says in the most peaceful, pitying voice you can imagine, "Young lady, you are either rude or you failed grade school. Your parents totally failed at teaching you manners, if you have any at all." She then used her teacher's voice. I was a kindergarten teacher. If I saw one of my students cutting in line, like you just did, I'd put them in the corner during recess. The line forms at the rear. Now, pick up your bottle and go stand in the corner, because it is apparent you are a rear. The little old lady then shook the cane in her face. 30s turns red. Everyone in our line and the ones on either side of us cheered at the little old lady, or jeered at 30s. She then turned and stomped out the exit without her purchase. As the little old lady is settling into her cart, I hand the cashier my debit card and tell her I'm with the little old lady. That was the cheapest life lesson I ever got. One of the best Karen ownings I ever witnessed. Have you ever seen a Karen get owned? Leave us a comment below. That is the end of the video. I hope you liked it. Subscribe for more content like this, and hit the like button to help us out.